Hey, mighty peeps, did you miss me? Or because Facebook crashed this week, did you not even know that I haven't been going live like every day, like I was for the last 2 weeks? And are you like one of the umpteen million business owners who probably got an email this week, maybe even from me, that was all about, hey, you really need an email list? Because you really do. Social media is great for all kinds of things, engaging with our audiences, customer service, following up, active listening, figuring out what they need and what we're going to have content, sending them back to our home base. But email's not dead, folks. If anything, social media showed that this week. But that's really not what this is a rant about. If you've been with me for any length of time at Mighty Marketing Mojo, you know Jennifer's all about the email. You also know that I clearly still like social media because I'm going live on social media. And you're possibly watching this on Facebook. You might be watching this later on YouTube. Which brings us back to one last rant point. Everybody's been talking about like omnichannel marketing, and this is just a fancy way of saying something that we were taught 25 plus years ago. It's called integrated marketing communications. My alma mater even has a graduate degree in it. It means you need all the things and they need to coordinate and talk to each other. PR, ads, you might need a billboard as well as a radio ad. You need social media, you need email, you need website. We have content marketing blogs, now podcasts. We have lots more ways to be out there. And yes, that can feel really daunting, which is why it's great if we have like one channel and thing that we tend to focus on that we own and control, which is why you need some kind of a website and a web presence. You need an email list. I got to talk with a great mighty pal today and a member of my community because she's been really great at building a community in social, and they love her, and they have weekly events, and she has live events and in-person events. And oh hell no, what happens when there's no social media? How does she let people know the Zoom link for the event or to register for the live in-person event? So we're going to get her fixed up. But this is actually about email planning, and I get to talk about, and we're going to show, peek inside of some of my email planning, because email as a marketing channel works better when there's an actual strategy behind it, when we are not just throwing things out willy-nilly. And it also helps that when you have a strategy, that gets past some of that blank screen staring terror that we all feel. Because look, in all of the best of content marketing, whichever channel and platform you're working on, we all hit a blank wall some days on what we're going to say and what we're going to publish. But the good news is the more that we are in community with our peeps, the more you actively listen, the more ideas you will have, and the faster you get past that horrible blank stare kind of day. And when in doubt, ask your people what they want. Now, the funny thing about this, and I got an email about this today from, or was looking at one, and it was talking about how if you ask people what they want, they're going to say, I want fewer emails. But getting fewer emails doesn't actually lead to more sales. That when you send emails of value more frequently, you get more response and you get more sales. And honestly, unless you're ramping up from having only sent an email once a quarter or once a month, and now you all of a sudden out of nowhere start showing up in their inboxes every day, don't do that. They're not going to notice if you go from sending an email on a Thursday to also sending an email on a Tuesday or a Monday, and maybe not every Monday. So the point of all of this is that we want to have a plan of some kind. We want to know approximately when are we sending things, when are we posting things, when are we making videos, because then that gives us some structure so that we can work around and figure out what we're going to say. We also want to have a plan because if you are promoting your one-on-one services, whether that's web design, photography, pet photos, family photos, um, graphic design, coaching services, coaching for kids, coaching for parents, if you are promoting your planners, if you're doing workshops like I am, if you have a membership, if you've got any of those things, then you need a plan for when you're going to talk about them and what are you going to say. So this live chat today, was inspired by me doing some active listening when I got a thoughtful question from a participant during my Tuesday. Wow, that was really just this week that I did the big web class, master class on Tuesday with the triple Zoom crash and the whole Facebook thing. That was all still just this week. Yeah. So I got a question from a participant about getting consistent and having a plan, and it's really easy to just add one more thing back on to an autoresponder or an automation, but how do we actually get good about consistently sending things to our list? And the same goes true for if you're consistently publishing things to social media, if you are consistently putting out videos, if you're consistently blogging, whatever you're doing, it helps when you know what that plan is. So I also mentioned, and that was the same call, maybe different call this week, that success can bring more success and success can bring consistency. Because think about it, when you're doing something and it works, that you had some success at it, well, then we want to go do more of it. It's kind of like if we ate ice cream a lot and it actually made us healthy, then we're going to go do it a lot. That's where the email habit came from for me, how it actually became a habit over the last like 3 years. After that followed many more years in the past of meh inconsistency. As I write more, I connect more, I sell more, so I want to write and email more. And the flip side of that is just sending you random emails on a random Thursday isn't terribly strategic. That's not a plan. And your audience can grow tired if you are all over the place. They're also going to grow tired if all you ever do is hit them over the head with the same promotion for multiple days per week. So what do? Well, we come up with a plan, a simple plan. Start with a goal, work backwards from the goal. Figure out what steps it's going to take to get there. And we're going to start with like looking at things 1 month ahead. And this is where we get to go inside the sneak peeks of how my brain works in terms of color coding and potentially using multiple tools together. You don't have to do it the way I do. I'm going to show it to you. You may pick one part of this that resonates with you. So I'm going to show you both because, yes, I print the things out. In fact, this is a brand new copy of my Google Calendar that I printed out just this afternoon because the other one I made changes and I'd scribbled things on and I want it all written down. You're also going to note it's colorful. Why? Because colors help me sort out what I'm doing. If everything was in the same color, then I couldn't tell the difference between a blog post, a Facebook post, and an email. So now I'm going to share my screen for a second. And there you go. I'm small. It's big. So now you're looking at Google Calendar. I'm using Google Calendar. This is my content calendar, which means it's got the content I'm creating for October. It's all there. Everything that's social media is in purple. Emails are green. Things where I'm doing like on the live event is in orange. And if there's a specific promotion I'm doing for a giveaway, a bundle, an affiliate for a partner or a pal or a friend or something like that, then it has a different color. So like, for example, one of the things that I've been working backwards from in September was I knew I wanted to have the web class on October 5th. And you can see it's there. It's one of the little orange dot there. Well, if I know I'm going to teach a thing on a day, then I know I need to be talking about it and promoting it for days and weeks ahead of time. So September's calendar we'll just go backwards, had some of that stuff filled in as well. It's like, okay, here's where we're going to do my Facebook Lives. Here's where we're going to talk about the promotions. Here's where red mean sales things are due. So the same thing is true here in October. I have this going on. I am teaching the Get Your Essential Emails Done Together. It's a live coaching intensive program. It's 5 weeks. Each week we write one of the crucial essential emails in your welcome series. We're doing it together. There's accountability. There's reviews. That's the sales page link. It starts October 21st, which means I promoted it and I talked about it and I teased it during the Facebook Lives at the end of September. And it means that I'm going to primarily have emails for it going on in green here. For example, I've sent the people who are in my web class on Tuesday of this week, I've sent them emails to follow up to say, here's your recording, and hey, here's the code that you want to buy the workshop at the best price possible. I'm now telling all of you that it's available, and I'll be telling all the rest of my email community how to get this workshop starting on this weekend. Or potentially it's like, hey, there's those emails right there. What you can't tell is that says workshop coaching heart open, that email. So part of the planning process is, what do you have going on this month? What's your goal? And work backwards. What is it that you are promoting? Do you have commitments because you're in a giveaway, you're in a bundle, you're doing a list building event? Most of those come with a promotion commitment. You have to send a certain number of emails. Plan when you're going to send them. If you have coaching spots open and you want 3 coaching clients this month, when are you emailing? When are you posting on social media about the fact that you've got 3 spots open? Oh, now you've only got 2 spots open. If you have a webinar, a workshop, any of those items, you have any other sale you want to be doing, work backwards. What emails do you need to let people know about it, to answer their questions about it, to give them valuable content or tips related to the product, the service, or the workshop? And where are your rest of your other emails that are giving them tips that aren't necessarily promotion centric, but they are still giving value and nurturing your community? Like you'll see over here, there's a lot of my Thursday tips emails. They're pretty light on promotion and they generally give tips, or maybe there's a tool. I think I included 2 articles and the one that went out today. And that's how I got started. It was starting with, I'm going to send an email on Thursday. I'm going to send tips with a tool recommendation, something to read on Thursdays. Blocking that time off in my calendar helped me be consistent. And then it helped me figure out the space and the time for when I could send other emails. And then what could I talk about? So that's one of the other components. There's the, well, what else do I say? If I don't have anything that I'm promoting right now, or I want to talk and I want to give value, I want to educate them about things that I do, things that I know, well, that's when we go over here into Trello, and where I keep lists of the things that I could promote. I also keep lists of my free content. And then if we're going to scroll over here, if I have an idea for something that I think, hey, I think that would make a good email, then I'm going to drop it in over here. So for example, one of these things that you probably can't zoom in and see might be, hey, I should give video gear tips. I should tell people and send them the affiliate link for my favorite webcam. It's the Logitech C920. It's the older C920, but it's a great cam. Or I could tell them about my favorite microphones. I'm not going to pull it off the shelf over there, but there's an ATR 2120 over there. I could tell you, hey, these are 5 apps I love for doing something else. I could tell you how to set up social listening with TalkWalker or Google Alerts. I also keep, these are my customer and audience questions, because it's always good content to do a video or a blog post or an email and answer a question. Always, always, always. Sometimes answering those questions gives good value and naturally leads into, and hey, I have a workshop, a webinar, a product, a workbook, a worksheet, coaching that's about this topic, this thing you have a question on. That's that natural way to incorporate selling when you're like, I know you have a problem because you asked me about it. Here's a tip on helping you to get past that problem. And here's how you get in touch with me to go further in solving your problem or getting to the thing it is that you want. So Trello keeps sort of the long range, long-term ideas. I can always come and pull something from in here. I can always take a look and ask In here, I'm scrolling a question, things like, how do I find new customers? Where do I start with marketing on Facebook? Start with a plan. For one thing, what are the things you're going to be talking about? And do you have engagement, and are you posting regularly? That's before you even get into things like, ads and stuff like that. Oh, there's a great question here. It's like, it says, how to stop marketing by the seat of my pants. Have a plan. Okay, how do we get a plan? Start with the next 2 weeks, then work your way up to 30 days. And that's when we get back to the Google Calendar. If 30 days is intimidating, start with what literally fits on a post-it note. And there were certainly times when I wasn't sure what I was going to be doing on social or anything where I had to be engaging more than just sending out an email once a week. Constrain yourself. This is the one time it's okay, folks. Post-it notes are okay for this. Constrain yourself to a post-it note. What tips can you share? What can you promote? How can you educate and connect with your audience over the next 10 days? Write them down on a post-it note. You might only even get the next 5 days written. Great. Now you're focused. You have a plan. You can take that 10-day or 2-week period, repeat it. Now you've got an entire month. Take a look back, see what worked. Did people open? Did people click? How did it feel? Were you in a better flow? Did you not sit there and stare at what your screen wondering what you're going to write? Because you kind of had a plan for the month. So the Google Calendar tells me roughly you need promotional emails on these days. You need value education emails on these days. You're going to talk and build out and talk about education and connection on social media on these days of the month. And then I'll go over here. This is a Word document. I write my emails in Word. Why? So that my email marketing software doesn't accidentally eat them and delete them. It gives me a way to get the ideas out of my head and figure out if they make sense, if they flow, if I am copying, pasting any bits from licensed content, from a blog post, from any other content sources, make sure I got my links, and that's all good. And I basically here use the Word document to drill down for the month. Let me zoom in a little bit more and to say, okay, here's the subject of the email. So like on Monday, it was, Facebook went down. This is why you need an email. And it included the reminder for my webinar, which happened the next day. I made note that on Wednesday, I was sending a promotion that I'm in a summit, the Business Profit Equation Summit, Volume 2, with Pam Hamilton of buildingvisibility.com. Really excited to be speaking alongside of her guests. Some great names for the summit. And the summit is live. Whoop, there we go. All right, fine, we'll be big. The summit is live next week, next Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, October 14th, 15th, and 16th. And I knew that I needed to share to my community about the summit, that I'm speaking, who else is speaking. So I make sure that I've got that planned in, and I'm going to make sure that there's going to be at least 1 or 2 other emails that are coming out to go with that. So I've also got in here, it's like, okay, I'm making sure that I'm talking about that, how email is coaching is open. There's going to be an email that I've gotten drafted. It was all about how to tweak your welcome email for more moolah, dinero. So that one is related to both value, teaching, and yes, it's talking about the workshop that's open. I have another email that's probably about like, just be like Nike, just do it, about how to just get done and write your emails. And I'll make sure that, that's when the card is closing. And then I go, actually, there's the emails. I'm drafting everything out. I'm putting the links that are in here if I need to, so that then I can copy and paste into my email software. So those are the tools that I use. And yeah, you could probably do it all in one place. You could do it all in Google. You could do it all on paper. You could do all of it and skip the Google Calendar and just do it in Word and in a document. You could probably write all your emails if you wanted to out in Trello, but I like having the other tools as well. It's easier to write and format things in Word or Google, not inside of Trello. The point is that you start from what is it that you want your people to know? What do you want them to click or take action on? Work backwards. When are you going to talk about that? When are you going to educate them about that? What other value are you going to share with them? And then in 30 minutes or so a day, work on getting to that goal. The plan helps you know when you're going to write things, when you're going to send things, and it can help you start to get ahead so that maybe you're not just writing the emails the morning that they go out or the night before. And if you do, that's fine, but at least you'll know what you're writing about. So that's the plan. You start with the super simple. Start with 10 days to 2 weeks. Get to 30 days. Because I know I have a workshop that I'm teaching in December. Because I know I have something that I'm launching in January, I'm working backwards from that. If I've got a big thing and it's a big thing, I'm going to do a 30-day challenge all about writing your emails. Like this, but like on steroids. Which means I'm going to need to spend most of the month of December talking about the challenge and why you want to be in it. And then after that, I'm probably going to want to talk about something else entirely. So, look, other stuff happens. You're going to change things on your calendar. It happens. But knowing that I've got something happening, in January, I don't even have it, in December means I started planning out the little green boxes that says I need emails to go out here to promote the thing. You can't just send one email and be done, not even probably 3 and be done, which means I've got things to do and talk about in November, which then leads me to October. I didn't used to, and I don't always plan that far, out in advance. This is about as good as it's been in 2 years in terms of long range planning. Gee, I wonder why that might be since 2019. Mostly it's 30 days at a time, and it started with me thinking 10 to 14 days at a time. 30 days is more manageable, it's concrete, it doesn't cause my brain to freeze, it doesn't cause me to panic, and it doesn't cause boredom either. So follow with the time plan that you can and that makes sense for you. Find your marketing mojo. Start with the next 2 weeks. What do you have happening? What do you have happening in the rest of the month of October that you need to be working on and sending emails about over the next 2 weeks? Then break down, okay, what part of the awareness and purchase cycle are my people in? Is this the first time they're hearing about it from me? Cool. I need to tell them about the problem that it's solving and the benefits of it. Cool. Then I need to address the objections they might have, why they may feel they're not ready for the coaching. Here's why you need it. This is when I can share potentially a case study of working with my clients to get them past and over this hurdle. Break it down into little bits so you're not trying to cram it all into one email and you're not trying to cram it all in at once. Work backwards to get moving forwards. So there's how I do my email planning. I hope these tips have helped you. I hope you can go take either some of it or all of it to give yourself more consistency with your content planning and specifically with planning and writing and sending your emails to your community who wants to hear from you. All right. I also let everybody know this video chat series where I answer questions and stuff from pals and community members is going to be moving to Tuesdays. So be sure, heads up, if you want to see me live, you want to ask questions, you want to engage live, you're going to need to be looking for me starting on Tuesdays. Because one of the reasons why is I'm teaching the workshop live, the coaching intensive, on Thursdays starting later this month. So you're going to be looking for me on Facebook on Tuesdays. All right, see you next Tuesdays, Mighty Pals. Bye.